Okay, thanks, Braden. Randy, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, how many times are you going to make me ask?
Lots.
All right, we will call the Finance Committee meeting to order. Everybody have a chance to take a look at the minutes?
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and second to approve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion of possible action on claims in the amount of $1,641,007.36.
Since it's over $1 million, Becky, or not Becky, but Allison, will you tell the general public why? Can you hear me?
We had a $405,000 debt service payment.
Brian?
We also
Brian?
had
Brian?
the final payments for the fire station and for our financial software, along with some other miscellaneous capital projects.
Thank you. Move for approval.
Second.
Motion and second to approve. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion and possible action on operators licenses for Joseph Schmall and Tanya Greeter.
For the period of November 10th, 2020 through June 30th, 2022, contingent upon successful completion of a background check and payment of any outstanding debt owed to the city.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second to approve. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion and possible action on 2021-2022 capital improvement plan.
So last meeting, we had kind of introduced the plan initially. Wanted to give the Finance Committee a chance to take some more time to take a look at it. As we discussed last time, it's basically a scaled down CIP. We're looking at a 2-year just to coincide with our next round of bonding. And so we kind of scaled the projects down, things like that. And as we mentioned before, this can always be adjusted up if things go well. You know, if the COVID things kind of start going away in the spring with the vaccine and all those good things, and the economy starts to ramp right back up again, we can definitely reevaluate adding more projects, things like that. But what we have in here now are the ones that were identified as kind of our highest priorities for the next couple of years. And that what we want to really address as far as infrastructure and then some other more facilities and things like that. Basically, kind of next steps would be if the Finance Committee is good with this, we'd bring it to the council sometime either December or January. At that point, we'd review it again. We'd look at more details as far as actual project costs. Right now, like I said before, we have $500,000 earmarked in there for improvements to the City Hall. We'll know more over the winter what that actually is going to look like. We're going to do a better facility evaluation. We'll prioritize out the projects. We'll get some prices, things like that. And we'll do that with some of the other projects as well. We'll also have some of these projects will be going out to bid soon. And so we'll know the actual bid amounts versus what our engineers' estimates are, things like that. So when we do discuss it again with the full council, like I said, January, somewhere right in there probably, you'll have another chance to do some changes to it before we actually approve and then go out for bonding. And then if things go well, we can always do another bonding cycle later next year, early 2022. We don't have to just do it over 2 years. We wanted to be very conservative with this round, but understanding that we can always go out again if we need to, if things look better and we decide to do more projects. So I guess with that, it's mostly if there's any questions, if there's any changes the Finance Committee wants to see, with it, any projects added, anything like that.
Aaron, I had a quick question on under street and infrastructure. Hanley and Center on Carmichael for $75,000. What's that for?
I'll answer that, Randy. So that's in response to the Carmichael corridor study. That would be improving those intersections with the lighting changes at the signals at both Hanley and the Gateway intersection there. So that's what that's for.
So turn signals, lighting.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Was there any?
Move to approve?
Second.
Motion is second to approve. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion and possible action on 2021 water and wastewater budgets.
Good evening, everybody. Kip Peters, Utility Director, City of Hudson. We are presenting the water and wastewater budgets tonight. Everybody can hear me, correct?
Yep.
So we are presenting them tonight. Both of them, I did put an issue sheet together, which you should have received. Both of them are balanced, but there is some cash for projects that we are going to have to carry forward with cash that I did list on each of the summary sheets in there. I don't know if you guys want to go through them or if you had questions or how you wanted to do this. The budget was presented to the PUC on October 27th, 2020, and it was passed and moved on to council for approval. So I don't know how detailed you guys wanted to get on this or if you had questions on it.
I think one thing to stress too, Kip, is that all these projects are included in the sewer rates that were recently approved, and then also with the water rates that we think are going to be approved that were passed on to the state for review. So there's nothing new here that should really affect those rates at all at this point. And then the other part that Kip was talking about as far as using cash on hand, that was planned. If you remember, we went out we did bonding for the sewer project, for the sewer treatment plant project. But we have cash on hand that because we could get such a good interest rate for the sewer project through the state, we're using, instead of using that cash on hand, which we had earmarked for the sewer expansion project, instead we're using that for these projects that are in that list. So that's why we're using that cash. We'd always intended to use that cash for a project. It's just when the state came up with their program with that interest rate, we couldn't use that program for all these projects that we're going to use the cash for. So it made more sense to use the cash on these because if we would have went out for regular bonding on these projects, we'd have paid a much higher interest rate on them. So the use of the cash reserves was a planned item by the city. And then again, the items that are listed here are factored in to the recently approved sewer rates and then also the water rates that were reviewed that are going to be in front of the state eventually for approval as well.
Because I don't want to see any more water rate increases at all. I won't support any of it. And going forward for some time without just cause.
Yeah, and I think that's our intent too, is to not be adding projects or, not be adding debt or anything to the water side that we would have to increase rates for. We're obviously, you have to keep an eye on our rates, make sure they're covering costs and things like that. And that's where with the water side, we do have to submit everything to the state and they ultimately make that determination, but we do have control over the part of what we're spending on infrastructure and things like that. So I think we recognize the water is an issue and we're going to keep a very close eye on that.
Thanks.
I'll make the motion to approve the water and wastewater budgets.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. I believe that's it for the agenda.
Items for future agenda.
Anybody have any items for future agendas? Nope. All right. Motion?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. We stand adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
And I should note, based on what we got now, unless something new comes up, we'll start at 6:45 next time.
Okay.